It's a beautiful Sunday evening, and we are glad to have you join us on Kwara TV News tonight. I am Ganiat Ilufoya Dedeji, and with me.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us on Kwara Television News tonight. I am Zakaria Surakat.
And from the languages desk.
Ekube lozwane labari daga television yakin Kwara na ce fuyan a pati akubona na labarin ki da Fatima Mohammed.
Lónìí ọjọ́ kẹrìndínlọ́gbọ̀n oṣù kẹrin ọdún 2026 ní akíwakù àṣálẹ́ lásìkò ìsinmi tòní láti lè ṣe mú màwòrán ìpínlẹ̀ Kwara tó fi àpáta Yàkùbá ṣe ibùjókòó ìròyìn lámútọ̀yìnwá Mọ́dúpẹ́ọlá Abíóyè ní oníròyìn yín ẹlẹ́dúnrà wò lórí StarTimes bákan náà lórí Free TV 502 àti ìgbésẹ̀ lórí Facebook àti Kwara TV ẹ̀kú ìkàlẹ̀ jẹ́ ká lọ sí èdè Gẹ̀ẹ́sì àti èdè Nupe àbọ̀.
This is Kwara TV News coming to you live from Apata Yakuba in the Kwara State capital. You can watch us on Star 113, Free TV 502. You can also join us on Facebook Live. The federal government has called for a thorough, independent and impartial investigation into the death of a Nigerian national, Mr. Kweyong Inemeka Matthew Andrew in South Africa. It was reported that Andrew was arrested for an alleged interaction with members of the Shiwane Metro Police on 19th April 2006 in the Bordering Saints area of Pretoria, where his body was discovered the following day at the Pretoria Central Mortuary. The Nigerian Consular General, Ambassador Nenikawa Okeuche, while expressing shock over the incident, disclosed that a formal case has been opened with the South African Police Service. Okeuchi, however, called on the relevant South African authorities to expedite their inquiries and establish the facts surrounding the incident. The Consular General also called for due process and adherence to the rule of law in ensuring accountability and public confidence. They have also urged members of the Nigerian community in South Africa to remain calm and law-abiding while the investigation is underway. The Consulate General extends condolences to the family, friends, and associates of the deceased, urging members of the Nigerian community in South Africa to remain calm and law-abiding while allowing the relevant authorities to investigate. He also emphasized that the mission to the protection of the rights and welfare of Nigerian citizens will continue to take appropriate steps in pursuit of the mandate.
In Kwara State, troops of 22 Brigade, Sector 1 Operation Safe South-South, OPSS, have conducted clearance operation in Kayama local government area of Kwara State, destroying suspected terrorist makeshift camps and recovering weapons. This was made known in a post by Zagazola Zakama, a counter-insurgency and security expert in the Lake Chad region. Makama said the operation commenced at about 6 o'clock a.m. on April 24 when troops departed the harbor area at Kamenji and advanced towards Tungan Mariga. He said that during the operation, troops reportedly discovered and destroyed suspected terrorist camp at Nuku village. He further revealed that 16 guns were recovered during the clearance exercise, stressing the troops thereafter proceeded to Worul village, where the commanding officer addressed personnel and addressed the ongoing operation. The security expert said that as part of efforts to enhance operational effectiveness, troops were also equipped with an additional armed personnel carrier mounted with a CJQ weapon system. He said that the operations was conducted without resistance and ended successfully.
The recent threats by the Nigerian Broadcasting Commission, NBC, to sanction broadcast organizations comprising radio and television outfits in Nigeria over declining standards in news and political analysis has not gone down well with some Nigerians, including the Nigerian Union of Journalists, AUJ, the umbrella body of all media practitioners in the country. A few days ago, the NBC had issued a formal notice to broadcast stations across Nigeria, warning of stricter enforcement of the Nigerian Broadcasting Code following what it described as a sustained rise in ethical and professional breaches particularly in news, current affairs, and political programming. It threatened that broadcast media found to be involved in what the Commission described as declining professionalism, misuse of platforms by political actors, and increasing hate speech will be punished accordingly. The Commission said that it has observed a troubling pattern in which broadcast platforms were being used in ways that undermine their core responsibility to inform the public with accuracy, balance, and professionalism. The Commission noted that the trend, if left unchecked, would erode public trust in the media and heighten tensions as the country gradually moves towards the 2027 general elections. It specifically highlighted rules relating to fairness, accuracy, balance, hate speech, and respect for constitutional authorities, following that infractions in these areas would attract sanctions.
Moving on to political matters, fourth-line politician and former commissioner in Kwara State, Malahia Aisha Ahmad Patigi, has formally joined the race for Kwara governorship seat in the forthcoming 2027 polls. With her declaration, the aspirant becomes a top-rated female contender, eyeing the coveted seat for Kwara North, a zone strongly agitating for a shift of power to the area in the next round of general elections. Babatunde Jimba has more.
Addressing the mammoth crowd who turned up to endorse her aspiration, Mahlia Aisha Ahmad Patigi said her declaration matches a moment where courage meets purpose and where the voice of the people rises above fear. The governorship aspirant, who is fondly called Mama Oyoyo by her admirers and teaming supporters, assured Kwarans that if given the opportunity, she will run an inclusive government with a focus on job creation and economic empowerment.
From our farmers to our factory, we will build a system where production meets opportunity. Farmers will not farm, they will prosper.
She pledged to leverage on youth power and innovation, agriculture and industrial growth, energy and infrastructure, as well as place women at the center in addressing the welfare of the citizens. Referencing a campaign mantra, a new dawn, a new hope, and a new Kwara, she described her declaration as a movement built on hope, unity, and a belief that strongly harps on togetherness. Earlier, a former speaker of the State Assembly, Ezekiel Benjamin Issa, Senior Special Assistant, Media and Public Relations, Jerry Kulo, and other stakeholders had in their submissions alluded to the credibility of Mahlia Aisha Ahmad Patigi, describing her as a woman of substance, timber, and caliber. And this one is a typical example of that.
Mahlia Aisha has made a statement. She's bold enough, she's courageous enough to have come out to declare her intent.
All of us here, both men and women, please let us support her. Let us support women. She's our own.
In the meantime, the aspirant had submitted a letter of intent to contest the 2027 governorship seat to the leadership of Kwara APC. She stormed the Kwara APC State Secretariat in company of her admirers and loyalists across the state. In her remarks, the female governorship aspirant said her decision was based on the resolve to build on the foundation laid by Governor Abdurrahman Abdulrazak and positively impact the lives of the downtrodden masses. Responding, the APC chairman, Prince Sunday Fagbemi, thanked her for the visit, assuring her of a level playing ground in the contest. Babatunde Jimba, Kwara TV News.
The Federal Capital Territory Police Command has announced the commencement of a welfare bus scheme for officers and men aimed at addressing transportation challenges and improving personnel welfare. The Commissioner of Police, FCT Command, Ahmed Sanusi, disclosed this, that the initiative was approved by the Inspector General of Police, Olatunji Rilwan Disu, and will begin operations on Monday, April 27, 2026. The command spokesperson, Josephine Ade, said under the scheme, 3 compressed natural gas-powered buses have been deployed to operate alongside designated routes within the Federal Capital Territory and its environs. She said that the first bus will operate from the Goshen-Otobalefi axis through the Masaka Marabaraba and the Yanya, terminating at Area 11 First Headquarters, Abuja. Sanusi commended the Inspector General of Police for approving the initiative, describing it as a significant step towards improving the welfare, working conditions, and overall well-being of the personnel. He urged officers to take advantage of the scheme, noting that the announced welfare would contribute to improved service delivery, discipline, and operational efficiency. The welfare bus scheme is part of the ongoing effort by the Nigerian Police Force to improve the welfare and operational efficiency of its personnel, and the rising transportation costs and commuting challenges in the Federal Capital Territory. The initiative reflects a broader push by the police leadership to enhance working conditions and boost morale within the force.
In Ogun State, the Ogun State Police Command has debunked a viral video alleging the presence of armed bandits in the state. It was reported that drone footage currently circulating in social media showed armed men operating within a forest in Ogun State. The video was accompanied by a male voice saying they are trying to show some video footage of the hideout of kidnapping in Ogun State, stressing that they were able to capture the event with their drone cameras, warning that people to be mindful of their movements. The command spokesperson, DSP Oluseyi Babasheyi, said that the video does not originate from Ogun State or any part of Nigeria. Babasheyi described the video as misleading and false, adding that credible fact checks revealed that the footage was recorded in Kenya during an operation involving cattle rustlers and was captured by a General Service Unit drone. Meanwhile, the state commander of police, CP Bode Ojaguni, condemned the video of unverified and deceptive content, noting that it is capable of causing unnecessary fear and undermining the public confidence in security agencies. He stressed that there is no intelligence or operational reports to support the claim of any such criminal presence within the forest or any part of Ogun State. Ojaguni called for calm and reassured residents that the command remains proactive and committed to restoring the safety and security of lives and properties through intelligence-led policing, strategic deployment, and sustained operational vigilance across the state. It is time to go on a short time out. When we return, Kwara TV News continues. Please stay with us.
Glad to have you back. And moving on, Christians have been charged to allow Christ to take over the totality of their life. This was the message delivered by Venerable Andrew Kayode Olugbemiru of St. Barnabas Cathedral, Muritala Mohammed Way, Ilorin, during today's church service. Abuletibo Wole was there for Kwara TV News, And the report is presented from our studios.
In his sermon, Venerable Dr. Andrew Kayode Olugbenro urged the congregation to shun acts of sin, saying it is the attribute of devil. The cleric emphasized the need for them to bring down the power of darkness by manifesting Christ into their words. Venerable Olugbenro advised the congregation to be prayerful against enemies who possess power of darkness to destroy life of individuals, families and communities at large. Reading from the book of the 1 John chapter 3 verses 8, the cleric said Christ was created to lead the world into the righteous path and destroy the power of darkness. He advised the leaders to fear God and use the mandate given to them to return back peace to the country.
God sent His only begotten Son, Jesus Christ, into the world to destroy the works of the devil. If the works of the devil must be destroyed, we must surrender in totality to God. When you surrender in totality to Him, He's always ready to fight our battles for us. Our leaders, the followers, must do everything in their capacity to surrender unto Him.
Some of the worshippers who spoke with Kwara TV News described the sermon as timely and impactful.
So that prevail over everywhere is what the Lord Jesus Christ came to make it to perish.
Really great, like me and spirit. And Jesus was made manifest to bring down the powers of darkness. And that's what the preacher built on to take us into the prayer session.
The church service featured choir ministration and special prayer.
From Ekiti State, the chairman of the Nigerian Institute of Quantity Surveyors, Ekiti State Chapter, Olubumi Adeoju, has urged the state government to create more accessible and affordable financing pathways to support development initiatives under the public-private partnership framework. She spoke in Ado-Ekiti during the 2026 NIQS Distinguished Guest Lecture titled Public-Private Partnership for Sustainable Infrastructure Development with Stakeholders Engagement. Adeoju, who said affordable financing would encourage investment in infrastructure projects, stressed the importance of collaboration, transparency, and the public understanding in ensuring the success of PPP projects aimed at improving infrastructure and the service delivery. She emphasized that projects are meant to serve a wide array of populace and are provided by the government. Ekiti State Head of Service for Lakemi Olomojobi described the bureaucracy as a structured system for delivering results, emphasizing that effective governance requires clear processes and the collaborations. Olomojobi said the Ekiti State had always demonstrated strong political will in promoting partnership that drive development and improve the ease of doing business in the state. In his lecture, Dr. C.C. Kache emphasized the need for government to provide access to affordable financing to support development initiative under PPP arrangements. He noted that when governments can access funds at a low interest rate, such as about 2%, such resources should be channeled into development projects rather than remaining idle.
And from Osho State comes a report that the state governor, Ademola Adeleke, has approved the implementation of the 2025 agreement between the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, and the federal government in Osho State University. The development was disclosed by the university's public relations officer, Ademola Adesoji, who confirmed that the approval covered key components of the agreement. The implementation includes consolidated academic allowance, the newly introduced tax-free consolidated tools allowance, and the professorial allowances. The university said the initiative is expected to enhance staff welfare, strengthen institutional stability, and promote industrial harmony within the institution. Reacting to the development, the chairman of ASU, Uniosun chapter, Dr. Wande Olaosebikan, described the approval as significant and timely. Olaosebikan also commended the Pro-Chancellor and the Chairman of the Council, Professor Wale Oladipo, alongside members of the University Council for their roles in facilitating the implementation. He praised the Vice-Chancellor, Professor Dwyer Clement Adeboye, stating that the university management demonstrated proactive leadership in securing approvals and ensuring execution of the agreement. The ASU Ibadan zone also reacted, describing the development as a triumph of dialogue and justice in university labor relations, while stressing the need for sustained engagement between government and the unions.
Now in Kano State Governor Abba Yusuf has laid the foundation stone for the construction of a new secondary school at Kwara Tv in Nasarawa local government area of the state. The project is expected to replace the popular Mai Kwatashi school, which had become dilapidated and reportedly suffered encroachment with parts of its land allegedly sold illegally by some individuals. The governor said the decision to build a new school followed the complaints by residents and the need to provide accessible education facilities for children in the area. Yusuf said the ownership of the former Mai Kwatashi School had been transferred to the Kano State Government College of Arts and Islamic Studies for educational purpose. He said that the new school would help ease the hardship faced by students in the community who currently traveled a long distance to attend school in Sabongari and other areas. Yusuf urged the residents of the area to cooperate with the contractor handling the project to ensure timely completion. He also warned the contractor to deliver quality work in line with the project specifications. He described the laying of the foundation as proof of the governor's commitment to fulfilling campaign promises in education sector.
The Lagos State Primary Healthcare Board says infection prevention and control measures remain firmly in place across the state's primary healthcare centers. Its permanent secretary, Ibrahim Mustafa, gave the assurance on Sunday following reports of a new COVID-19 case in Cross River State. Mustafa emphasized that Lagos State has not of primary healthcare facilities to curb the spread of the infectious disease. He credited the widespread vaccination and the booster doses for strengthening health immunity, significantly reducing transmission and severity of the virus in the community. However, it disclosed that the COVID-19 vaccines were currently out of stock nationwide, stressing that efforts were underway by the federal government to secure additional supplies. Mustafa emphasized the IPC protocols originally intensified during the pandemic are now a routine part of the healthcare delivery and extend beyond COVID-19 to cover a wide range of infectious diseases. Core measures being enforced in primary health care include regular hand hygiene, use of alcohol-based sanitizers where running water is unavailable, and mandatory masks used for individuals showing symptoms of respiratory infections. He warned that lapses in basic infection control practices could increase vulnerability not only to COVID-19 but also to other communicable diseases including bacterial and viral infections.
And now to the southern parts of the country. The Nigerian army said its operatives have destroyed 10 illegal refining sites and arrested 9 suspected oil thieves in different parts of Niger Delta region. The army also said 130,000 liters of stolen crude oil and 26,000 liters of automotive gas oil (AGO), also known as diesel, worth 250 million naira, were confiscated. The acting deputy director 6th Division Army Public Relations, Lieutenant Colonel Jonah Denjuma, disclosed these in Port Harcourt. Denjuma said that the feat was achieved during nearly 1 month of operations conducted by the Army in collaborations with other security agencies in 4 states of the region, namely Rivers, Delta, Akwa Ibom, and Bayelsa. He said the troops have continued to dominate the Niger Delta region operational landscape, recording significant operational success. The operation, conducted from April 1 to 26, 2026 across the region, led to the arrest of 9 suspected oil thieves, the deactivation of 10 illegal refining sites, and the confiscation of over 130,000 liters of stolen crude oil, as well as over 26,000 liters of automated gas oil (AGO. Troops also uncovered a tapping point with a dugout storage pit located 500 meters away, filled with over 2,700 liters of stolen products in Niger Delta, around Obazogwe community in Etopoli local government area. Meanwhile, the general officer commanding 6th Division Nigerian Army, Major General Emmanuel Emeka, commended the troops for their resilience.
You are still watching Kwara TV News. Or pause for some messages to return with more news. Do stay with us. Glad to have you back. I'm moving on to Lagos State, where comes a report that the state government has introduced a policy describing it as no power, no pay, has signed 3 power purchase agreements to improve electricity supply and ensure it only pays for energy actually delivered to public facilities. The Lagos State Governor, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, on Sunday said the agreement was signed as part of efforts to address gaps in power delivery and ensure more reliable supply in the states. Under the arrangement, different power firms have been assigned to support specific areas and infrastructure. Fenchurch Power will supply electricity to key water facilities in Adin and Iju, while Mainland Power will keep providing power to Ikeja, Oshodi, and Antony with plans to expand its coverage. Vitan will continue to ensure steady electricity for major facilities around the island, alongside efforts to better integrate its supply into the distribution network. The governor also stated that the agreement has been reviewed to reflect current realities in the power sector, with a new payment structure introduced to ensure accountability. The governor said the move is expected to improve power reliability for public infrastructure, ensure better use of state resources, and support future expansion of electricity capacity.
Welcome to Kwara TV Sport Desk. Mocktown Flyers secured a historic first Basketball Africa League victory after defeating JCA Kings 76-69 in a spirited display that also handed Ivorian a second straight defeat in the competition. The Nigerian debutant started with remarkable intensity, taking control early as they punished the Kings from a long range, with 21 of their first 22 points coming from 3-point range. The Ivorians had momentarily fought back with a 10-0 run that disrupted the Flyers' shooting rhythm, but the Nigerian side regrouped quickly and restored control in their third quarter, extending their advantage to 16 points at one stage. Jawad Adekoya led the scoring charge for the Flyers with 20 points, while 3 other teammates also finished in the double figures. The result marked a major milestone for the Nigerian side, who only recently emerged from domestic basketball's obscurity before securing their place in the continental competition. They later contended their rise with a shock of 74-72 victory over Rivers Hoopers in the championship game. Their rapid transformation has now taken them into the continental stage as one of Nigeria's representatives in the Basketball Africa League alongside the Rivers Hoopers and the Kwara Falcons. The Flyers will return to action today against FUS Rabat, while JCA Kings will look to recover when they face Club Africans on Tuesday as the round-robin phase continues with the top 4 team set to progress to the 2026 ball playoff.
And lastly, from the world scene, Mali's defense minister died after an attack on his house. His family, Azame, fought the second day of battle with the jihadist fighters and the separatist rebels near the capital Bamako and other cities, putting the Sahel nation's ruling junta under severe pressure. The First Minister Sadiq Kamara, his second wife, and 2 of his grandchildren died after a car bomb attack on his home in the junta stronghold of Kita outside Bamako. His family and officials said Saturday's shock attack, synchronized by Tuareg rebels of the Azawad Liberation Front, FLA coalition, and the jihadist group for the support of Islam and Muslim, JNIM, targeted several areas on the vast arid country. Fighting resumed Sunday in several areas, including Kita, near Bamako, Kidal, Gao, and Sever. Tuareg rebels, meanwhile, announced an agreement allowing Russian forces backing Mali's army to withdraw from the northern city of Kidal, while the claim was totally under their control. Recall that Kidal, a Tuareg stronghold, was retaken in November 2023 by the Malian army, backed by Russia's Wagner paramilitary group, ending more than a decade of control by rebels. Mali has been ravaged for more than a decade by conflict and jihadist violence, but Saturday's attacks were the worst hit since 2020, when the junta seized power. Russia's African Corps, an organization under direct control of the Russian Defense Ministry, has taken over from the mercenary Wagner in helping Malian forces fight jihadists. And with that report from Mali, we have come to the end of Kwara TV News from the English desk. Moving on now to the languages desk, and Fatima is waiting. Good evening, Fatima.
Soja ya kenji aga latulana ke nimi e kan tete ngiyan kaya mo do me ngabo ada ke fi izade ne today e uzane bana jo today le fi meji aleka amade kundo chichi ngone zana today igba nimi ze today pai bana kin le chaduna zakasula kana ngache la ignutulo unji bayana tsakani nya ifungu tsanya la je trafo shibegune ni tsana sala na ifidane ngabo zanchi pepe nya ikaya kimajibo achilo tunga marigo lokacin unchi abwa de alo ejiyan nuku achida nya banaji aka hele fio to de na yo agan bidinga na jilo utsane ngabo adeku nimiyan katana ji le fitode na nchonga ke lo jiyan oro na deni miyan ikabu tete nchanya ana adachin etun tode na to gashilo o kanale na agan na madani miyan kokaro tojo na alega so gaje ade kuneji ko hina majara de za neja fimi banaji aga so fimi no sani ni miya siyasa je kinabo na ke jin commissioner gogalani ni miya kin kwaro na mahalia Aisha ama patigi ngati yana ke mude ni no wanda pati chichi ya eko yan gomna yan kin kwara biya na abeji eyam dojine bi chipe na gana akan ga yi nsani ni miya ta siyasa yin zagi na tiya daga ikpanyan arewa ne lokaci to dai na ikaunci na ayewa ga ipoyin gwamna doji ikaunci eyan doshi ne labari baba tunde gimba wuya ganin wuce buba sabe jamaji na jigudu tiya bejin zumutu ne gabo aisha ama pati giga gan bici pe wuna ngata gan wa gan wi alkodi she da ke bayan sawan gijiyan kin kwaro ne aisha na zanajo to de jin zumutu na je gan mamman yo ne ngabo zanaji jin zumutu na ujin alkodi ya ga yawon kafa caje gwamnati yankin kwara gwamnati na waje nan ga yawan waje da kayan itunpe to arziki loye yankin kwaro ne inda daga waje amfani gambe kagbo ya igi barufuje aje da kayan enu igbo loyan kamfani idan ta cirki to etu yan kongila ba nan ma ya imo yan zagije kagbo ne ni miyan izajo zai je gagacin yanka ta mai bisa yankin kwara kogali ana insite benjamin isa toyeza shara ya ci ya kayan labari ya gwamnan jerry kudu to zake na ji eganto ni mai yankin kwaro ne a gaji aisha ama patigia ke inzage otu dị na dị suna wangi ekwuchi mmanwụ ne zumuncho nga bụ aisha lo dota nye na siyasa ya apc na ci ejiniya ilu na banan da la wasika ga wunde ni ala kwacici ya yi koyen gwamna yankin kwara iya doshi na dan gwana zanen ji zuma tuci shi ga kusuwa gwamna yankin kwara ne a ga yulo filin wuce ne mbaza daga bici pe wuce otu dai ngai ga wa ga wa tuba fin etu na ji gwamna Abdulrahman Abdulrazak Idelo ni mi yankin kwara ya ezakwa gbakiji ne ni mi ezugo da sakun yin siyasa APC kin kwara wancin Sunday Fagidi ga mun daji bi izin kunce kuma ji alkawari ga a ji da ta cin zai wa ga ala paticici ya kundu ci yo kwata ne dokaji ni miyan ejiboyan Abuja agaga ya motondo ci ni láti anya na acheku etunlo chaji ejin elobejin ne ebo unde bu ke etan yan elobejin to bi aga be etunlo jine commissioner yan dokaji kwalagi jifo yan Abuja to Ahmed Sanusi ngache la igana tulo ngana mai egwaladan daga bayan sa dokaji yan ki Nigeria Olatunji Rilwan Disu na gan ayo to eto afo shibe hutu abe yin eto ana ifida nene ifo yan atenine zane yi gagachi yan dokajo to yankin Abuja na Josephine Ade gaga daga moto nejo to de je àǹfààní bi gas yan ife ne ngaji akuti ana lo hutana fi acha ganza ide fi ekajo na ganda ga ifuyan goshenbo da ya masakar mararaba to yanya gabo wace ku ezajo to do ne Sanusi ci jin gawa ma ya nusayen dokaji yankin na gobe kyan domin lagwadan bici pe wuce ne gbogbo na wake tan wake fún ètò àjíṣẹ́ ne nce wa biya na ajin gi àǹfààní to de fini na alachichi to de ndebula ilu to ezin fún bi ya ètò àjò to de ne wa ti da ibe igi zuma Kristijana na alugwa Jesu Kristo to de lugwa la ti la idan ipogboro gambe alamari aje ni miyan ijone na mai labari na ti ya da ke bayan ba mo Andrew Kayode Olugbeniro yan St Barnabas Cathedral na chi fún yan Murtala ọmọ edoji ni ìlú na igilabari owó lẹ́wà onwu ya na ni miyan wa zubo ngabo ba mo nchi wa be jemanjiyan na pe agan bi le fijina ngebo na daga bayan shita ngabo fe biyan ne nga daga a pe agan de bi ene fe be daga bayan shita mbo yan ba joko ijo to de nche lugwa adede be alamari ajiyane da shara kan dundu aga bugan be aduwa me hacin aga a cajin aduwa dai da yayi wakan da ke bayan kirijo na ajiwe kan zawangi joto zankan bi alamari ajine nce lawa zu daga littafin jambo to do ne bana ungana daga alugwa Jesu Kristo to na alade jegan lushi to ne ncu ladan iko borojo ne nci wabe to shi ga ade da sun soko gambe alkoli na zawangi joto de adan go ne ni mi zeji bazabe labari ne juwa zunci ke na santu wannan bai da lokaci ne wancan ga wato ejidaya itu soko chebie ijone gómìnà yẹn ken Ọ̀ṣun Adémọ́lá Adélékè nga igwa ladan alcohol ni dan ta chinye mi gwen mo yẹn makata je uka tún fi makanta chikojo ne gan asuna ta o gómìnà ti ta chin yẹn kin abuna na a lotun etubo ni mi yẹn makanta legeleke ne yẹn ken Ọ̀ṣun ne jante la egana to de tula ne nga yi gagaci yan makata wancan Adémọ́lá Adésọjí na gan ni miyan ina joto de alcohol wancan ne nga yi ewo ko ba gije na jide a ce laya man wancan joto de ne be kando a gan na bicikpe ne nga wanke la iwo be a zane joto de ewu katun fi makata ciko yo ma lugwa ta ciyan emigun cinkan be gwamnati bana gan paine ni miye zubo zane da sako yan asoto makanta liki yan union shunu dekta wande ola osidi kan ngala ji bicikpe yan gwamna muciye kenan to de goyo mo bi dan lokaci ne a ci ga hun jin gawa ma ya na sayen emigun ne laye dan makanta wancan to de na mon ko wale oladipo kan be to zeke na jine nkeje daji na dokun na lo iba bi kendo agba bi chipe unchi nfan zane labari be lo so anu agbo abuga mo labari gan bi eji ni sun yake nga hun to gba ni mo dúpẹ́ ọlá
tán kúbẹ̀tẹ̀ Fatima ìròyìn náà rí ní èdè ti Yorùbá àwọn ọmọ ogun ti ọ̀wọ́ 22 sector 1 nínú operation safe south south ti ṣe àwárí àti àfọ̀mọ́ níjọba ìbílẹ̀ Kayama ìpínlẹ̀ Kwara tí wọ́n sì ṣe ìparun ibi tí wọ́n fura sí gẹ́gẹ́ bí ibùdó àwọn apanilẹ́kúnjayé tí wọ́n sì tún gba àwọn ohun èlò ìjà wọn. èyí ni wọ́n fi léde nínú ìfiránṣẹ́ kan lórí ìkànnì X láti ọwọ́ Zagazola Makama akọ́ṣẹ́mọṣẹ́ ìgbógun ti ìgbésùmọ̀mí àti àbẹ́lẹ̀ ìmọ̀ ààbò ní adágún Chad. Zagazola Makama sọ wípé iṣẹ́ náà bẹ̀rẹ̀ ní agogo 6 òwúrọ̀ ọjọ́ 24 oṣù kẹrin nígbàtí àwọn ọmọ ogun fi ẹ̀ka méjì sílẹ̀ tí wọ́n sì lọ sí Tunga Mariga. Ó sọ wípé pẹ̀lú pé nígbà iṣẹ́ náà àwọn ọmọ ogun rí tí wọ́n sì ṣe ìbàjẹ́ ibùdó àwọn afurasí náà ní ìletò Nuku. Ó tún ṣàlàyé wípé wọ́n gba ìbọn dé 6 lásìkò ètò àfọ̀mọ́ ọ̀hún. Ó tẹ̀síwájú wípé lẹ́yìn èyí àwọn ọmọ ogun lọ sí ìletò Wóró níbi tí ọ̀gá ológun tó ṣe àkóso ti bá àwọn ọmọ ogun sọ̀rọ̀ tí ó sì ṣe àyẹ̀wò ìlọsíwájú iṣẹ́ wọn. Amòye ààbò yìí tún ṣàlàyé wípé gẹ́gẹ́ bí ara akitiyan láti mókun bá ìṣiṣẹ́ náà wọ́n tún ṣe ìrọ̀gùn sápá àwọn ọmọ ogun pẹ̀lú ohun èlò ìjà yìí tí ó yẹ. Ó sọ wípé iṣẹ́ náà lọ láìsí ìfarapa kankan tí ó sì parí pẹ̀lú àṣeyọrí. Àgbọ̀jẹ̀ olóṣèlú kan tó tún fi ìgbà kan rí jẹ́ kọmíṣánná ní ìpínlẹ̀ ti Kwara yẹn Mahalia Aisha Ahmad Patigi ti darapọ̀ mọ́ eré ìje fún ìjókòó ipò gómìnà níbi ètò ìdìbò tí ó ń bọ̀ lọ́dún 2027. Pẹ̀lú ìkéde yìí olùdíje náà ti di ọ̀kan lára àwọn obìnrin tó ní àǹfààní gíga láti gba ipò náà láti ẹkùn àríwá Kwara gẹ́gẹ́ bí àwọn ènìyàn ṣe ń pè fún ìyípadà agbára sí ẹkùn náà níbi ètò ìdìbò tí ó ń bọ̀. Babátúndé Jimba jábọ̀ wípé nígbà tó ń bá àwọn ènìyàn púpọ̀ tó kójọ láti ṣe àtìlẹ́yìn fún sọ̀rọ̀ Mahalia Aisha Ahmad Patigi jẹ́ kí ó di mímọ̀ wípé ìkéde àti èròǹgbà ń wáyé ní àkókò tí ìgboyà pàdé èrò tí ohun àwọn ènìyàn sì ga ju ìbẹ̀rù lọ. Olùdíje gómìnà tí ọ̀pọ̀ pè ní màmá òyòyò láàrin àwọn alátìlẹyìn rẹ̀ ṣe ìlérí fún àwọn ọmọ Kwara wípé bí a bá fún òun ní àǹfààní òun yóò ṣe ìṣàkóso tó kó gbogbo ènìyàn sínú rẹ̀ pẹ̀lú ìfojúsọ́nà lórí ṣíṣẹ̀dá iṣẹ́ àti ìrọ̀gùnsápẹ́ni nípa ti okòwò. Ó tún ṣèlérí láti lo agbára àwọn ọ̀dọ́ àti ìmọ̀ ẹ̀rọ ọ̀nà tuntun ọ̀gbìn àti ìdàgbàsókè iléeṣẹ́ iná agbára àti amáyédẹrùn bákan náà láti fi àwọn obìnrin síbi ìtọ́jú alálàáfíà àti ìtọ́jú àwùjọ. Ní títọ́ka sí òwe ìpolongo rẹ̀ tí ṣe ìmọ́lẹ̀ tuntun, ìrètí tuntun àti Kwara tuntun, olùdíje náà ṣàlàyé wípé ìkéde yìí jẹ́ àkókò tí a kọ́ lórí ìrètí, ìṣọ̀kan àti ìgbàgbọ́ nípa ìṣiṣẹ́pọ̀. Ṣáájú, abẹnugan aṣòfin ìpínlẹ̀ yìí tẹ́lẹ̀ rí Ezekiel Benjamin Isa, olùrànlọ́wọ́ pàtàkì àgbà fún ọ̀rọ̀ ìròyìn àti ìbáṣepọ̀ pẹ̀lú àwọn aráàlú jẹ́rìkòló pẹ̀lú àwọn alẹ́nulọ́rọ̀ mìíràn gbogbo ni wọ́n gbóṣùbà fún ìwà rere àti ìtẹríba Halia Aisha Hamad Patigi tí wọ́n sì pè ní obìnrin tó ní iyì, agbára àti ọgbọ́n. Lákòókò yìí, olùdíje náà ti fi lẹ́tà èròǹgbà rẹ̀ fún ipò gómìnà lọ́dún 2027 sí ọwọ́ àwọn olórí ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú All Progressives Congress APC ìyẹn ní ìpínlẹ̀ Kwara tí ó sì jẹ́jẹ́ láti gùn lé iṣẹ́ ribiribi èyí tí gómìnà Abdulrahman Abdulrazak ń ṣe. Nínú ìdáhùn rẹ̀, alága ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú APC ní ìpínlẹ̀ Kwara ọmọọba Sunday Fagbemi dúpẹ́ fún ìbẹ̀wò rẹ̀ tí ó sì ṣèlérí pé yóò jẹ́ kí gbogbo olùdíje ní àǹfààní dọ́gbandọ́gba níbi ìdíje náà. Àjọ ọlọ́pàá ní olú ilẹ̀ wa ti kéde ìbẹ̀rẹ̀ ètò ọkọ̀ akérò fún ìgbé ayé gbádùn àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ rẹ̀ sídìí bíbójútó ìpèníjà kálọ kábọ̀ àti láti mú ìlera ohun àǹfààní àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ pọ̀ sí i. Kọmíṣánná ọlọ́pàá fún FCT Command Ahmed Sanusi sọ wípé Ọlátúnjí Rilwan Isu ti fọwọ́ sí ètò náà àti wípé iṣẹ́ rẹ̀ máa bẹ̀rẹ̀ ní ọjọ́ Ajé ọjọ́ 17 oṣù kẹrin ọdún 2026. Agbẹnusọ àjọ ọlọ́pàá náà yẹn Josephine Adé sọ wípé lábẹ́ ètò tuntun yìí ọkọ̀ akérò mẹ́ta tí wọ́n fi gáàsì àdáyébá tó ní ìkópakéré ní ṣíṣe ni a ti pèsè fún àwọn ipa ọ̀nà kan ní Federal Capital Territory àti agbègbè yìí tí ó yí ká. Ó sọ wípé ọkọ̀ àkọ́kọ́ yóò máa gba ọ̀nà láti Goshen àti Alta Balefi kọjá Mazaka, Mararaba àti Yanya tí yóò sì parí ní Area 2 Force Headquarters nílùú ti Àbújá. Sanusi ni ọ̀gá àgbà pátápátá àjọ ọlọ́pàá lọ́gbọ̀ọ́ ẹnu fún fífọwọ́ sí ètò náà tí ó sì ṣe àpèjúwe rẹ̀ gẹ́gẹ́ bí ìgbésẹ̀ pàtàkì láti mú ìtọ́jú alálàáfíà, ipò iṣẹ́ rere àti ìlera gbogbo òṣìṣẹ́ dára sí i. Ó rọ àwọn ọlọ́pàá kí wọ́n lo àǹfààní ètò náà dáradára ní fífi hàn pé ìtọ́jú alálàáfíà tó dára yóò mú iṣẹ́ ìránṣẹ́ tó múnádóko, ìwà pẹ̀lú ìbáwí rere àti agbára iṣẹ́ pọ̀ sí i. Ètò ọkọ̀ akérò ìtọ́jú alálàáfíà yìí jẹ́ apá kan nínú ìsapá tí Nigeria Police Force ń ṣe láti mú ìlera àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ àti iṣẹ́ ọlọ́pàá dára sí nígbà tí owó ọkọ̀ àti ìṣòro ìrìn àjò ń pọ̀ sí ní olú ilẹ̀ wa. Ètò yìí tún fi hàn wípé àwọn adarí àjọ ọlọ́pàá ń ṣiṣẹ́ takuntakun láti mú ipò iṣẹ́ dára sí i àti láti gbé ìfẹsẹ̀múlẹ̀ ọkàn àwọn ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ ọlọ́pàá ga sí i. Àjọ ọlọ́pàá ìpínlẹ̀ ti Ògùn ti tako fídíò kan èyí tí ó ń tàn káàkiri tó ń sọ wípé àwọn ọlọ́ṣà ológun tí a mọ̀ sí bandits wà ní ìpínlẹ̀ náà. Ìjábọ̀ fi hàn wípé fídíò tí wọ́n yà pẹ̀lú drone tó ń tàn lórí ayélujára ṣàfihàn àwọn ikọ̀ ọ̀hún tí ó ṣiṣẹ́ nínú igbó kan ní ìpínlẹ̀ ti Ògùn. Wọ́n tún fi ohùn ọkùnrin kan kún tí ó sọ wípé wọ́n fẹ́ fi àwọn àwòrán ibi ìfarapamọ́ ajínigbé hàn ní ìpínlẹ̀ Ògùn. Ó ní wọ́n fi ẹ̀rọ ayàwòrán wọn drone ya àwòrán náà tí wọ́n sì ń kìlọ̀ fún àwọn ènìyàn kí wọ́n ṣọ́ra níbi tí wọ́n bá ń lọ. agbẹnusọ àjọ ọlọ́pàá DSP Olúṣèyí Babáṣèyí sọ wípé fídíò náà kìí ṣe ti ìpínlẹ̀ Ògùn tàbí ti ibikíbi ní ilẹ̀ Nàìjíríà. Babáṣèyí ṣàlàyé wípé fídíò náà jẹ́ ìtàn àròsọ àti irọ́ pọ́nbélé tí ó sì fi kún wípé ìwádìí tó dájú fi hàn wípé ilẹ̀ Kẹ́ńyà ni wọ́n ti ya fídíò ọ̀hún. Ní báyìí kọmíṣánná ọlọ́pàá ìpínlẹ̀ náà CP Bọ̀dé Ọ̀jájúni ti ṣòfin tótó bí àwọn ènìyàn ṣe ń tan ìròyìn tí a kò fìdí rẹ̀ múlẹ̀ fi kárí ilé fi kárí oko. Wọ́n ti pàrọwà sí àwọn Kìrìsìtẹ́nì láti jẹ́ kí Kristi gba àkóso gbogbo ìgbésí ayé wọn. Èyí ni ọ̀rọ̀ ìwàásù Venerable Andrew Káyọ̀dé Olúgbémiró ti ilé ìjọsìn mímọ́ St Barnabas Cathedral lójú ọ̀nà Murtala Way lẹ́yìn tí ó ṣe àgbékalẹ̀ rẹ̀ nínú ìjọsìn tòní. Abletif Owólẹ̀wà wà níbẹ̀ tí ó sì jábọ̀ wípé nínú ìwàásù rẹ̀ Venerable Dr. Andrew Káyọ̀dé Olúgbémiró rọ àwọn olùjọ́sìn láti yàgò fún ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ lẹ́yìn tó ní ó jẹ́ àmì èṣù. Àlùfáà náà tẹnumọ́ ìnílò fún àwọn ọmọ ìjọ láti mú agbára òkùnkùn wọlẹ̀ nípa fífi Kristi hàn nínú ayé wọn. Venerable Olúgbémiró gba àwọn olùjọ́sìn lámọ̀ràn láti máa gbàdúrà lórí àwọn ọ̀tá tí wọ́n ní agbára òkùnkùn láti ba ìgbé ayé ẹnìkọ̀ọ̀kan jẹ́, ìdílé àti àwùjọ. Nígbà tí ó ń kà láti inú ìwé Jòhánù kínní orí 3 ẹsẹ̀ 8, àlùfáà náà ní Jésù Kristi wá sí ayé láti darí ayé sí ọ̀nà òdodo àti láti pa agbára òkùnkùn run. Ó tún gba àwọn olórí lámọ̀ràn láti bẹ̀rù Ọlọ́run kí wọ́n sì lo àṣẹ tí a fún wọn láti mú àlàáfíà padà wá sí orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà. Díẹ̀ nínú àwọn olùjọ́sìn tó bá ikọ̀ ìròyìn Kwara TV ní gbólóhùn ṣàlàyé wípé ìwàásù náà wà ní àkókò tí ó yẹ àti wípé ó kó ipa tí ó dára. Lára ohun tí ó wáyé níbi ìjọsìn náà ní orin láti ẹnu àwọn akọrin àti àkànṣe àdúrà. Ǹjẹ́ ní ìparí, gómìnà ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀ṣun Adémọ́lá Adélékè ti buwọ́lu àfilọ́lẹ̀ àdéhùn ìfẹnukò tọdún 2025 láàrin ẹgbẹ́ olùkọ́ ajímẹ́fun láwọn ilé ẹ̀kọ́ fásitì tí a mọ̀ sí ẹgbẹ́ ASUU àti ìjọba àpapọ̀ nílé ẹ̀kọ́ fásitì ìpínlẹ̀ ti Ọ̀ṣun. Ìgbésẹ̀ yìí ló di mímọ̀ látọwọ́ alukoro iléeṣẹ́ fásitì ilé ẹ̀kọ́ fásitì ẹnumẹ́ àgọ́ Adémọ́lá Adésọjí, ẹni tó jẹ́rìí wípé ìbuwọ́lù náà ló ṣe àkóónú àwọn ìfẹnukò èyí tí ó ṣe kókó. Ìmúlò náà pẹ̀lú owó ìrànlọ́wọ́ fún àwọn akẹ́kọ̀ọ́ ní ìmọ̀ ẹ̀kọ́ gíga tí a mọ̀ sí Consolidated Academic Allowance, owó irinṣẹ́ tuntun tí kò ní owó orí nínú, tax-free Consolidated Tools Allowance àti owó ìrànlọ́wọ́ fún àwọn ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n Professorial Allowance. Ilé ẹ̀kọ́ náà ní ètò yìí yóò mú àlàáfíà àti ìtọ́jú àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ dára sí i tí yóò sì fi agbára kún ìdúróṣinṣin ilé ẹ̀kọ́ náà kí ó sì gbé ìbáṣepọ̀ alálàáfíà láàrin aláṣẹ àti òṣìṣẹ́ lárugẹ. Nínú ìfèsì rẹ̀ sí ìdàgbàsókè yìí, alága ASUU ẹ̀ka ti uni Ọ̀ṣun Dr. Wende Ọláòṣèbìkan ṣe àpèjúwe ìfọwọ́sí yìí gẹ́gẹ́ bí ohun tí ó lágbára tí ó sì wà ní àkókò èyí tí ó yẹ. Dr. Wende Ọláòṣèbìkan tún dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Pro-Chancellor àti alága ìgbìmọ̀ ọ̀hún ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n Wálé Ọládípọ̀ pẹ̀lú àwọn ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ ìgbìmọ̀ ilé ẹ̀kọ́ náà fún ipa tí wọ́n kó nídìí mímú ìmúlò iṣẹ́. Ó tún yin igbákejì olórí ilé ẹ̀kọ́ ọ̀hún ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n Ọdúnayọ̀ Clement Adébáyọ̀ pé alákòóso ilé ẹ̀kọ́ náà fi olóríire tó ṣáájú hàn nínú gbígba àṣẹ yìí àti nídìí àrídájú pé àṣẹ náà fìdí múlẹ̀. ASUU ẹ̀ka Ìbàdàn náà tún fèsì tí wọ́n sì ṣàpèjúwe ìdàgbàsókè yìí gẹ́gẹ́ bí ìṣẹ́gun fún ọ̀rọ̀ ìfikùnlukùn àti òdodo nínú ìbáṣepọ̀ òṣìṣẹ́ ní ilé ẹ̀kọ́ gíga náà. Wọ́n sì tẹnu mọ́ ìṣe pàtàkì ìbánisọ̀rọ̀ tí yóò máa tẹ̀síwájú láàrin ìjọba àti àwọn ẹgbẹ́ òṣìṣẹ́ ọ̀hún. Pẹ̀lú ìròyìn láti ìpínlẹ̀ ti Ọ̀ṣun ni a fi mú ìròyìn wá sí òpin fún ti àṣálẹ́ tòní. Ganiyat Adédèjì Àgbọ̀mìnì.
And with that report from the Yoruba desk, we have come to the end of Kwara TV News tonight. But before we go, a quick one from the languages desk.
labari belozo ni wa bo aboniga sayo suna teke labari labari ni sala sukara buna de Fatima Mohammed kala labari chibe.
Ọ̀la ni ọjọ́ mìíràn ọjọ́ ire èyí tí a tún máa mú àkọ̀tun ìròyìn wá fún wa títí di Ọlọ́run kọ́. Mo dúpẹ́ ọlá Àbíóyè lónìí oorun rẹ̀ lásùn àlàáfíà láòjì ó dàrú.
Thank you for staying with us on Kwara Television News tonight, reaching you live from Kwara State Television Authority at Patayakubala in the Kwara State capital. Don't forget to join us tomorrow 8 a.m. for our flagship current affairs show, AM Drive, and 5 p.m., 8 p.m. for more updated bulletins. Until then, I am Zachariah Surakat. Thank you for watching.
Thank you so much for being part of the news. I am Ganiat Ilfe Adedeji. Good evening. Enjoy the rest of your day and have a productive week ahead.